Hello friends, how are you? It is I, your art teacher, Miss Claire, and today we are going to be making a puzzle. So we are going to design our own puzzle. So we're going to make the picture that is on the puzzle, and then we are going to cut it into some pieces so that we can have an actual puzzle to put together. I don't know if any of you are spending time doing puzzles at home. There's something pretty fun to do by yourself or with your family. I even have a puzzle example next to me. This is a puzzle of a landscape made of food, basically. I think these towers are made of cheese, and there's a lot going on in this puzzle. So I want you to remember that with puzzles, it's really helpful to have a lot of things going on in the picture, because it helps us to put it together if we can connect the pieces by seeing what's next to each other. So I know that's a little bit confusing, but as we go along, I am going to show you what I mean. Just remember that we want it to have a lot of details in our picture. We want to make it complex. So lots of different colors and shapes and different pieces of our puzzle. Okay, so the materials that we are going to need today, we're going to need some paper. It's pretty helpful to have some paper that's maybe a little bit heavier than normal paper. If you have, you can even use cardboard if you want to. You could use the inside of a cereal box and draw on that. But if you just have plain paper, that's okay too. We're going to use what we have. So I'm going to have a piece of paper or cardboard or anything I could use for a puzzle. I'm going to use some scissors. Now if you have scissors and you use scissors, that'd be great. If you don't, you might have an adult help you with that part, but that's okay either way. And then I'm also going to want something to draw with. So because I want lots of color in mine, I am going to use both crayons and markers. My marker box I always bring out. So I'm going to show you, before we get started on making our puzzle design, I want to have you think about how we're going to cut it up so that you have that in your mind as we're working and designing. So we are going to be cutting our puzzle into 9 pieces. I know other puzzles you've seen, they're very complex. They have a lot of corners. They probably have a lot of pieces. But just because we're making it ourselves today, we're just going to keep it pretty simple. Can you count to 9? I bet you can. So 9 is just 1 less than 10. So if I'm counting on my fingers, this is 5, and then 4 more is 9. So it's just 1 less than 10. That's 9 pieces. Now, if you've ever played tic-tac-toe, you might be familiar with the board having 9 pieces. So I've made a drawing to show you. Let's pretend that this is our paper, so it's a drawing of our picture. And this is how we're going to cut it. We're going to cut here, 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 and here. So then we'll have 9 pieces, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So remember, this is the shape that our puzzle, or the shape of the pieces. We're going to make square pieces. We're just going to try to keep it simple because we're making our own puzzle today. Now, the theme I'm going to leave up to you. I'm going to give you some ideas to think about, because remember, we want a lot of details. But I'm going to give you some options. So I want you to make a picture that is, your family in your home. So everybody in your family, if you have pets, maybe there's a room in your house, something that has to do with your home and your family. Now remember, we want to fill the whole paper. Because we have all of these pieces, we need to make sure we have something that's in this square, in this square, in this square. We want to have parts of our picture in every square. We're not going to draw this on our picture yet, but I want you to think about it in our picture. So I want to cover my whole paper to make sure I don't have a blank puzzle piece when I cut this corner out. So maybe you want it to be about your family or your home, or maybe you want it to be a picture outside. Maybe it's a landscape, maybe it's a beach scene, or it's mountains, or it's your imagination. A new world, a place that's totally different than our world. I'm going to give you those options. Daisy loves her imagination, I guess. So I think that I am going to go for a landscape because I love being outside. So I'm going to draw a picture of the forest. I'm also going to remember that I want to have lots of stuff in the picture. So not just trees or ground. I also might put animals or other parts so that it helps me put the puzzle together. All right, so I'm going to make sure that I am using lots and lots of colors. And since I'm going to be in a forest, we're going to get springtime, I'm going to use lots of greens. I'm really curious what you are going to be making. Because I wonder if you could make an underwater scene. That's outside. That might be neat. Or a scene in outer space. Or if you choose to make it with your family, I would love to find out what your family looks like. The drawings that maybe you're doing something together. Maybe it's a picture of your family all playing a game or having dinner together. Or maybe it's a picture of your family that's not in your house with you right now. Some of your family that you don't get to see as much right now. So because I'm going to make a forest, I'm going to think about what am I going to put in my forest? I think I'm going to start with a path. And remember, we want to be filling our whole paper so that all of the pieces have parts to help us connect them. Because something about puzzles is that we use one piece to find out where the next one goes. This actually might turn into a little bit more like a meadow, but that's okay. Maybe there's a forest in the background. So I have just made a hill and a path. I'm also going to make some trees. And I'll make some trees. You know, this also would be a really fun thing to do with our families. Maybe we can make a puzzle together, or we can put the puzzle together with each other. So I'm making sure I use lots of colors to help me put this together once I cut it up. Because then it will be easy to put together, easier. So I'm making sure you use lots of different colors. So I'm making some trees. Think about all the details you can put in your picture. Do you remember what details mean? Details are smaller parts of a scene. They're the smaller parts that you see when you look really closely. So maybe if you are looking at a person, some details might be, what color are their eyes? Or are they wearing earrings? What do their earrings look like? Do they have painted nails? Those are small details. So things that we can find that are tiny details, like what color are Daisy's eyes? I know she's a little bit far, but that's a detail. So small things. Now I'm going to make my forest a little bit fantastical. I'm going to put some purple fog in the air. So maybe mine is in between a real landscape and a fantasy landscape. Gosh, I can't wait to see what kind of puzzles all of you make. Because puzzles come, if you've ever done a puzzle, you've probably seen they come in all sorts of designs. You can get a puzzle for almost anything, which is pretty neat. All right, here's what I have so far. So you can see I'm trying to fill all parts of my paper. I'm still working, but I'm just showing you how I'm doing as I go. So I think I am going to make, maybe I'm going to make some rocks in my landscape. Yep, some rocks. So for a rainbow, I am going to need red. Do you know what comes after red in a rainbow? Orange. And then after orange, we have yellow. Comes after yellow, green. Followed by blue. And then indigo, which I'm going to skip that one just for now because I think my rainbow's getting a little big. And then purple or violet. This is a pretty magenta-y purple, so redder one. Okay, here's what I have so far. See how I have stuff all over here? So what do I still need? Do you see the places where I really still need something? Here's one, here's one, here's one, here's one. We want to make sure there's something in every one. So I'm trying to think of what other details I could have in my forest. I think I'm going to draw an animal. So I'm going to draw a dog. Don't worry, it's not lost. We just don't quite see the owner. The owner's a little bit out of the frame. That means they are here, but we can't see them. They're just a little bit further away. Okay. And maybe the dog has left some paw prints. Oh, that's going to help us. So just remember, you want to have stuff in every part of the picture just to help us get the puzzle put together well. Okay, so we got some paw prints. I'm going to put a bird. I love birds. I bet you're hearing a lot of birds singing right now. Maybe not right this second, but this time of year, I have been hearing so many birds, and it is so neat to just sit outside and look and see what birds I can find. So they all have different songs and different colors. All right, I'm almost there. Just need a couple more things in my picture before I can make it into a puzzle. I wonder what else. A pond. That sounds like something neat that might be in the forest. All right. Okay, a pond. And you also might have noticed I am using so many different colors because that's also going to help me when I put this together. After we've cut it into a puzzle, it will be a lot easier if there's a lot of different colors in it. All right, I am almost done. I still need something over here. What could it be? What can I put in that corner? Flowers. That's what I'm missing here. I am missing some flowers. And actually, I might put a couple of flowers other places in my picture too, just so. Because I think I never have too many flowers. Almost ready. Let's see. Put a flower over here. Now, I know I've said this a few times, but remember, make sure there's something in every part of your paper. I'll put one more flower over here. I'm about to show you exactly what I mean in case it's a little bit hard to understand. Okay. Do you see how I don't have very much white space in my picture? I have something almost everywhere. Now, I'm going to add a little bit more color with some crayons because I think my path needs some color. And it might take you a little bit of time to fill in the whole picture. That's okay. We can take our time. Sometimes art takes time. It doesn't have to be really, really, really fast. It can be a slow process because that's okay too. Now I'm also going to add, I think, some grass. I'm just trying to make sure I have stuff in every part of my picture because it's going to be really helpful. I know I said this a lot, to put it together. I'll put one more bird here. Okay. All right, I think I'm done with my picture. If you are not totally done drawing your picture, that's okay. You just might want to pause this and come back as soon as you are done. So, I have stuff everywhere in my picture. I have filled almost the whole page. Now, I am going to show you how I put this together as a puzzle. So, on the back, I'm going to draw some lines to help me so I know where to cut. Remember how I said like a tic-tac-toe board, we're going to use 9 squares? So we're going to make it into 9 squares. If you want, you can use a ruler. I would recommend not drawing the lines with a marker because it might bleed through, but you could use a crayon or a pencil. We're also drawing on the back of our picture so that we can't see it no matter what. So I'm just going to use a crayon. Now, to make this, the first thing I'm going to do is draw a line here and a line here. And I'm just gonna eyeball it. If you want, you can use a ruler to help you make a straight line, but I don't think it's super important. So I don't want to put a line right in the middle, but I want to think about where the middle is, and then one here and one here, because we're going to split it into how many? 3 parts first. 3. So I'm going to do a line here and a line here. Okay? Do you see my lines? Now, to make it look like this, I have to do 2 more lines. One this way and one this way. All right. And it's okay if they're not totally perfect squares, because that'll even make our puzzle more interesting. You know how a lot of times when we see puzzles, they have really interesting jagged edges? It's a little harder to cut that, so we're not going to do that today, but this is a similar idea. Okay, so you should have something that looks like this on the back of your paper. And when you do, we're going to cut those lines. Now, if you don't feel comfortable or you're not able to, you can have an adult help you with this. So I am going to try to be really careful and cut right on that line. Because that line was a guide to help me know where to cut. So everywhere there are lines, we're going to cut. Now, I don't want you to trim anything if you feel like you've cut anything a little funny. We don't want to trim it because we're going to lose a piece of our puzzle. So see how I still have these lines? Now I need to cut these. My gosh, my puzzle pieces are taking shape. I am really glad I made myself this guide. This is a really helpful thing to do. Okay. I know it feels weird to be cutting our picture, but... Whoop. All right, now, I have my puzzle pieces. Okay, now, let's see how my puzzle goes together. Let's see if I can put it together. Okay, remember there's a sun in the top corner. Remember how I said the rainbow would help me? I think it's going to. Okay, and then I got the bottom of the rainbow. Now some puzzles, their pieces snap together, and ours don't because we just cut them. We didn't make any special pieces, but that's okay. Oh, wow. This is pretty cool. I think I put it together. I know you can't see it because it's on the table, but look at my puzzle. I put it together. And now if I want, I can mix it up and do it again. So that is how we make a puzzle. I can't wait to see what kind of puzzles you make. Well, I hope that you have had a nice time today making some art with me. I can't wait to see all of you again. I hope you are staying well and having some fun playing outside and with your families. So until next time,